Ever notice how some of those motivational quotes, the ones they're supposed to like, I don't know, fire you up, they just kind of fall flat?
Oh, totally.
Like, life is a game, play to win. I see that everywhere. And it's like inspiring, sure. But then I'm also like, wait, hold on. Where's the rule book to this game? And whose game are we even playing anyway?
Right. It's amazing how such a simple phrase like life is a game can be, well,
Yeah.
interpreted in so many ways.
Exactly. So that's exactly what we're diving into today. Is life really a game? And we've got a really interesting mix of sources for this one.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah. We've got a fun article from Spain that really embraces that game metaphor, but then totally flips what it means to win.
I like where this is going.
Oh, yeah. And then we're going deep, I mean, deep with Nietzsche.
Deep. But no worries, we'll keep it accessible.
Exactly. But spoiler alert, Nietzsche, not exactly on board with the whole life is a game thing.
No, definitely not a life is a game kind of guy. But that's what makes it so interesting, right? Contrasting viewpoints.
Exactly. Okay, so should we start that Spanish article? It's a good one. Really playful.
Yeah, let's lighten things up before we get to, well,
Right. Okay, so this article, it basically argues that life is a game. Okay, fine. But the catch is the victory. It's all about how much you actually enjoy playing.
Interesting. Regardless of like what you're dealt.
Like what hand you're dealt, exactly. It's not about the cards you're holding, it's how you play them.
Yeah.
Right? And they have this really cool visual. Like imagine you're juggling, right?
Okay, I'm picturing it.
You're trying to keep all these different parts of your life up in the air, work, family, friends, your health, everything. But some of those things, they're like rubber balls.
They bounce back, no big deal.
Exactly. But then you've got the glass ones.
Oh, yeah, those are the ones you really don't want to drop.
Exactly. And those are the ones that need more like careful attention, right?
So true. What resonates most with you in that analogy? Which ball feels the most, I don't know, delicate in your own life right now? The one you're most afraid to drop?
Ooh, that's such a good question.
Yeah.
It really makes you think, right, about what you're prioritizing.
Yeah, and what needs that extra care?
Yes. And what I love about this article is that it really emphasizes that we all have a totally different set of balls that we're juggling,
It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of game.
No, not at all. Like someone might be dealing with a huge career change, which feels like a whole bunch of glass balls right there, while someone else is totally focused on like starting a family, which is, a whole different set of dot challenges.
It's not about comparing juggling acts, right? It's about finding what works for you.
Yeah, exactly. Your own rhythm, your own way of keeping those balls in the air.
And that connects really well with this idea of, what's it called? Oh, intrinsic motivation. Have you heard of that?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's about like finding the joy in the process itself.
Yeah.
Right. Not just chasing after like external rewards.
You got it. So even when life throws you a curveball or, well, maybe a glass ball, if we're sticking with this metaphor, finding ways to, I don't know, enjoy the process can be really powerful.
It's like finding a way to enjoy the juggling act itself, even when it gets a little crazy.
Yeah.
Which, let's be honest, it usually does. It's definitely a more like optimistic way to think about it.
For sure.
But I'm ready to bring in Nietzsche now.
Mhm.
I mean, he might just take those juggling balls and be like, nope.
Right. Like, what even are these? You might just toss them right out the window.
Totally. So before we dive into all things Nietzsche, just a quick reminder. For those who haven't really explored his work before, why should we care what this guy, from the 1800s has to say about our lives now?
Well, because even though he was writing over a century ago, Nietzsche's ideas about meaning, about purpose, about how we choose to live, they're kind of timeless.
Timeless, yeah.
And actually, you specifically wanted to know where that, quote, life is a game even came from.
Yeah, I was really curious about that.
So while it doesn't seem like he actually ever said that directly, it definitely clashes with his whole philosophy.
Yeah, he was all about like personal liberation, right? Shaking off those expectations that society tries to put on us.
Exactly. Defining success on your own terms. And that message, it's super relevant today, I think. Especially now, with social media and everything.
It's like, whose game are we even playing sometimes? Are we chasing after our own goals, or are we just trying to keep up with everyone else's scorecard?
Exactly. And Nietzsche gives us these, I don't know, like these tools almost to question those assumptions.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What kind of tools are we talking about?
Well, he loved these thought experiments, like really mind-bending stuff. Have you ever heard of the eternal return?
The eternal return. That sounds intense.
It is. So imagine this. What if you had to live your life exactly as you've lived it over and over again.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's
For eternity, every joy, every struggle, every decision, exactly the same, again and again and again.
okay, yeah, I see where the intense part comes in.
Right, so the question is, would you make the same choices, knowing you'd have to relive them forever?
That definitely adds a whole new level of weight to those life is a game posters.
Right. It makes you think, like, am I living in a way that I actually want to repeat? Or are there things I'd want to change?
It's like a cosmic choose wisely moment.
Mm.
Okay, so eternal return check. What other Nietzschean wisdom can we drop here?
Well, there's the will to power, which is often misunderstood.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that. It sounds kind of, I don't know, aggressive almost.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not about dominating others, though. It's about mastering yourself.
Okay, so less about power over people, more about power over got yourself.
Exactly. That inner struggle, overcoming limitations, pushing your boundaries, becoming the best and fullest version of you.
It's like leveling up, but in real life. I like it.
Right. And then, of course, there's the Superman.
Okay, but when I hear Superman, I'm thinking like tights and a cape, which I don't think is what Nietzsche was going for.
Definitely not. Nietzsche's Superman is this ideal. It's someone who's broken free from all those expectations and rules, someone who creates their own values.
So it's less about having superpowers and more about personal power.
Exactly. The power to define what winning even means for you.
So it's not as simple as just like, life is a game, here's how you win with Nietzsche, is it?
Not at all. It's more like he's handing us this whole philosophical toolkit and saying, all right, go figure out what game you're playing and what victory means for you.
Yeah, he's definitely not giving us all the answers, which I guess is kind of the point, right?
Exactly. It's about asking the right questions. And those tools he gives us, think about the eternal return, right?
Yeah, that one's still with me.
Or the will to power. They might seem kind of abstract at first, but man, they really make you think about those unconscious rules you've been living by.
It's like, wait, am I playing the game I actually want to be playing? Or am I just trying to win at someone else's version of it?
Exactly. Whose scorecard are you keeping track of?
Right. Such a good question. And it's funny because we started off with this playful Spanish article urging us to find joy in the process no matter what.
Embrace the chaos.
Exactly. And then we went full Nietzsche, questioning the whole framework of a game in the first place. It's amazing how different those perspectives are.
They are, but maybe they're not totally incompatible. I mean, the Spanish article, it's all about finding that joy within the game.
However you define it.
Right. And then Nietzsche's like, hold up. What if you design the game itself?
It's like, choose your own adventure, but for life. I love that. And that's what I love about these deep dives.
Right?
It's not about finding one right answer. It's about opening up your thinking to new possibilities.
100%.
Which actually reminds me, earlier you were talking about metaphors, and you asked this great question about if life is a game doesn't quite fit.
Yeah, because metaphors, they're powerful, right? They can either box us in or open us up.
Totally. So if it's not a game, what is it?
Right. What image resonates more? Is it more like a journey, a dance? Ooh, what about a garden? Something you tend to and watch grow.
I love the journey one. It's like every twist and turn, you're learning something new. There's no real finish line. It's just about the experience.
And it's yours to create.
Exactly. Okay, so maybe life isn't a game. Maybe it's a journey, a dance, a garden. Who knows? What matters is we're out there, figuring it out as we go.
Creating our own paths.
Yes. And that's something we definitely want to hear from all of you about. What metaphor resonates most with you right now? Hit us up on social media. Let's keep this conversation going.
We love to hear what you think.
And until next time, keep exploring.
Listen to more interesting podcasts on Planet Alibra